crafty friends, it's Alicia here with a project for Tailored Expressions. Today I'll be showing you how to make a set of 8 cozy fall thank you cards using the brand new colors and adding some texture, both faux and real. If you haven't heard, Tailored Expressions has added 4 new colors to their cardstock and ink line. Those are cinnamon, sour gummy, huckleberry, and jalapeño. As soon as I saw these colors, I immediately thought of fall, sweater weather, leaves, just coziness all around. So I knew I had the perfect product to pair with this, and that was the Fall Foliage Background Stamp and Stencil combo. This features a background stamp for the veins of the leaves and then 3 coordinating stencils to color those in. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be adding some texture to the front. The first one will be with the Shiplap Background for more of a faux texture, and then for some real texture, I have the Cable Knit Embossing Folder. Fall also makes me think of Thanksgiving and gratefulness, so I'm going to make a set of thank you cards. For my sentiments, I'll be pairing the Signature Thanks and Signature Thanks backer dies with Simple Strips Thanks and the coordinating die. For die cutting the layers for my card front, I'll be using Petite Scallop rectangle stacklets and additional A2 layer stacklets. To help with stamping today, I'll be using my exclusive TE Teal Misty. To get a nice crisp impression, I brought in the Just Press tool. And besides the 4 inks that I showed earlier, I will also be using Toffee. And to help with the stenciling, I of course got out my coordinating blending brushes. Besides the 4 cardstock colors from the new collection, I'll be using Sugar Cube, Toffee, and some TE Vellum. Let's get crafty! Off camera, I pre-cut 8 Toffee card fronts, and I'm going to be stamping on 4 of those with the Shiplap background. I'll be using Toffee ink for this for a tone-on-tone look. Normally, I like to put my cardstock in one corner of the Misty when I'm stamping, but because this is a background stamp and I need room around all the edges, I added a little adhesive to the back of my first piece, placed that onto my grid paper, and then I place my background stamp face down on top of that, and I try to look at the rest of the grid and kind of center that stamp. Then I ink it up with the Toffee and use my Just Press tool to help me get a nice crisp impression. I stamped 3 more pieces just like that, and these are going to be my cards that have the faux texture. Next, I'm going to use the Fall Foliage background stamp and the brand new cinnamon ink pad to stamp the veins of the leaves onto now 8 total pieces, the 4 I just stamped and the 4 plain. I'm going to start by stamping on one of the pieces that hasn't been stamped on yet, and I set it up just like the last time, with a little adhesive on the back and center the stamp on the front. Now this one I ink up with the darker brown, the brand new cinnamon ink, and before I show you a close-up, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on one of the ones that we added the Shiplap background to. Because this is a darker brown ink, it does stand out from that background. And you'll see here how the right one already has a little added texture, but don't worry, later we'll be adding texture to the left one as well. I continue to stamp until I have the leaf veins on all 8 of my Toffee pieces. Before I put my Misty away, I do have a little more stamping to do, and that is for my sentiments. I will be inking up and stamping the Simple Strips Thanks with the Toffee ink on a scrap of Sugar Cube cardstock. Now for this, since it doesn't stamp the entire piece, I can put it in that lower right hand corner, and I do hold it in place with the magnet, but make sure that it won't interfere with the stamp. If you haven't ever used the Simple Strip stamps and dies, you will want to make sure that you stamp those squares. Those are going to help us later line up the die for cutting. Once all of those card fronts had some stamping, it was time to get inky with some stenciling. For this, I'm going to be using the other 3 new colors, the coordinating blending brushes, and that stencil set. I'm starting with stencil number 1 and the Sour Gummy ink, and I'm going to use my grid mat and place the lower right hand corner on the lower right hand corner of the rectangle that's already there. Now this does have some veins etched into the stencil that will line up with your piece of cardstock, so take a minute and make sure those are lined up nicely. And to hold my stencil in place today, I'm going to use some Scotch removable label tape. And just to help when I go to place stencils 2 and 3, I did use a pencil and put some marks around the corners of this first one. And using the coordinating blending brush, I'm going to ink up this stencil with Sour Gummy. I like to use clockwise and counterclockwise motions while I'm stenciling, and I only ink up my brush when I need to. Oftentimes there's already some ink on the stencil that you can pick back up with your brush for the next opening. Now once I have the first one done to what I think is a good saturation of the ink, I'm going to replace it with another card front, lining it up again with those squares on my paper placemat. Here's a look at that first layer done on one of each of the backgrounds. I added the Sour Gummy ink to the rest of the card fronts, and then when all of those are done, it was time to switch out my stencil. Now for this, I'm going to remove the stencil, but leave this card front in place. Then I brought in stencil number 2, making sure the etch number was in the bottom right, and I got that set up for stenciling. Now I did start with the pencil marks I had made, but you might find that you have to adjust it just a little bit for your new layer. For this one, I'm going to be using the Huckleberry, and I will let you know you might want to go with a very light hand with this at first, because when it's new and juicy, it can be kind of dark. So I went in and I stenciled all of these layers, and then it was time for stencil number 3, which I set up in just the same way. And this is the Jalapeño ink. And I don't know about you, but my favorite part of the stenciling is the reveal. Here's a look at 2 of the card fronts, one on each of the textures. To cut down these panels, I'm using the third from largest rectangle from the additional A2 layer Stacklets, and I cut those off screen, and I did make sure to keep the extras. There were some good strips that I thought later we can decorate the inside of the cards with. Also off camera, I cut 2 card fronts in each of the 4 new colors. And to cut these down, I'm going to use the largest die from the Petite Scallop Rectangle Stacklets. I'm also at this time going to use the Thanks die and cut those out of the center. I now have a mat and a sentiment for each card front, and you'll see that later when I put on my stenciled piece, it will cover that opening, so nobody will ever know that you saved on some cardstock. To help the thanks stand out from that stenciled background, I did bring in the signature thanks backer die, and I cut that from some vellum. You'll see here that once those 2 pieces are layered together, it definitely makes a difference on how well that sentiment stands out. To adhere the thanks to the shadow, I'm using Barely Art liquid glue, and I hold it with some reverse tweezers while I put the glue on. Then to help with the placement, I brought in a scrap of dark cardstock so I could see the edges of each piece. While those were drying, I brought in my simple strips die and I cut the rest of my sentiments out. You'll see here that I lined up the stamped squares with the cutout squares on the die, and I used some Scotch removable tape to hold that in place. And now I have lots of sentiments, even more than I'll need for today's card set. I do have one more thing to do before I add the stenciled pieces to their scalloped mats. We do already have the faux texture on the 4 on the left, but now I'm going to show you how I add real texture to the 4 on the right. And that is with the Cable Knit Embossing Folder. I placed my stenciled piece into the embossing folder so the stenciled side was at the same side where the folder was labeled. And here's a close-up look at that texture. I have to say that once this goes through there, it totally reminds me of a knit sweater. Let me know in that comment section below if you prefer the real or the faux texture. I ran the rest of those through the embossing folder, and then it was time to get these pieces put onto their scalloped mats. Now for this I decided for the shiplap to make portrait cards, and for the ones with the cable knit embossing I would make horizontal or landscape cards. Now for this I'm going to use some liquid glue, and on the one that has the texture I did make sure to add a little bit extra. On this also, because the embossing kind of makes it a little bit smaller, it's not going to center perfectly like the one with the shiplap background will. But I think you're going to be the only one noticing that. Then using that same liquid glue, I added adhesive to the back of the die cut thanks. I did try to keep the glue behind that skinnier thank you so it wouldn't peek out from the shadow. And I placed it in the lower left hand corner of the portrait one and toward the bottom center of the vertical one. When adhering these, I did match up the color of the cardstock of the thank you die cut with that scalloped mat. I continued adding these until all the card front had a thank you, and I let them dry for about 5 minutes. Off camera, I added these pieces to some card bases and I decorated the inside. You'll see I have a piece of white cardstock for the personal message, and I used some of those leftover scraps from the stenciling to add a little extra color. I also chose some of the simple strip sayings to put on these, and I added foam sticky strips to the back of each one. For the portrait cards, I chose a shorter saying, and for the landscape cards, I was able to choose ones that were a little bit longer. I pulled the release tape on those and placed one on each of the card fronts. To finish the cards off, I brought in some gold matte enamel dots and added 5 to the front of each card. I scattered them from the top left to the lower right. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today's video. If you enjoyed the process, a thumbs up is appreciated. And if you're not already a subscriber, we do hope you'll click on the button below so you're the first to know about our latest videos. To find out more about the products I used today, you can check out the links in the description box below or visit the Tailored Expressions online store at tailoredexpressions.com.